Lovell, what is going on, my brother? Thank you so much for being
Courtney, how you
here.
doing, big boy?
I'm
Good to
doing
see you,
well.
man.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I'm very well, man. Let's see.
Your hair grew.
Video games on in the background. I'm just enjoying the time, man. Enjoying the
Yes,
time.
sir. How has first of all, I gotta give you a major congratulations. 2020 has really been a blessing to you, and to see you rise and to see you grind as much as you've been, it is well deserved. So shout outs to you for being just for being the star that you are, man. So
You.
first thing I want to know how has quarantine life been for you? Have you had any kind of quarantine snacks? What have you been up to besides power?
Let's see. Well, first and foremost, I gotta thank God because He blessed
Mm,
me with the most amazing partner to quarantine with. Like, we were
mm,
quarantined in the house for 94 days straight, and like it was a blessing. Like we were just hanging out, having a good time. My fiance and I, we got engaged like right before the quarantine, so.
congratulations.
Thank you. It was just her and I just like hanging out, making food, learning how to make pizza from scratch with the
Yes.
yeast and everything. It was crazy, but like it was just like we just learned so much about each other and like navigating different things and watching the world change and transform and evolve. And
Yeah.
um yeah, it was really like it was something that we've never experienced before, but in a weird way it was kind of like very necessary because as an actor, like
Yeah.
you grow up, right? And all you do is like work and train, 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 train to get to, get that next role. And,
Right.
it's always about the next thing. Even when you're not working, it's about the next thing. And when you are working, it's
It's
like,
about the
okay,
next.
well,
Yeah.
hopefully this can lead to this thing. And so it was like for the first time ever in my life, I was like, ain't nowhere to be. Just
Right.
enjoy right now in this moment. Enjoy these movies, play some games you've always wanted to play, and like beat finally. Like it was just really nice. We stayed healthy and strong. It was
Yeah.
good.
And to make it out on the other side, right? Like, isn't that
Absolutely.
the blessing in all of it, to be able to make it out on the other side and be able to tell the story. So I don't think people realize just how in depth this has been for you. I know even for me, right? When I first saw the cast and crew, I'm not gonna lie, Lavelle, I was like, oh, come on, who is these people? Who are these people? Like, we went through 6 seasons of some greatness, right? And then we're
Mhm.
just like, oh, come on with a spinoff, right? And then I get in it and I'm just like, okay, I want more. This can't be this an hour. This can't just be this an hour, right? And to see that this has not only been your first role, you've been acting for a very long time. You went to
Mhm.
school at Hunter for this.
Mhm.
When did you realize to do something that you wanted to do?
Well, when I was a kid, I grew up watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air like religiously, and my mom even bought me like the whole thing except for the last season, and she bought me all of Martin as well
Mm-hmm.
because I watched Martin all the time. So I love being I was a big, loud, boisterous, crazy kid, and um and I was the only child for like 7 years, so I was like entertaining myself and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and so I knew kind of like from like the second grade that I wanted to be a kid. My teacher like kicked me out of the school play.
Mm.
Um, but like I was never the type of kid to like I was kind of like rebellious.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
So
course.
like we never she was my teacher. She was my teacher and she also ran the school play for the grade twos.
Mm.
And so I was like, all right, well, I'm in the play. She kicked me out of it. I was supposed to be the red fire truck. And she kicked me out of it. So I was like, I guess maybe subconsciously I was like, I'm gonna be that red fire
Yes.
truck.
Right.
Like you know. So yeah, like I kind of knew from then, but like you get older and you get really good at other things.
Yeah.
So I was really good at track,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really athletic, and there weren't a lot of outlets for me to get into acting, or that
Yeah.
I knew of anyways.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I was on the west side of Toronto, so like where we were, it was like the closest school for like arts was in like a different part of the city, a
Yeah.
different part of of our town. So it was like, okay, you either do that or go all the way to the East End,
Mm-hmm.
Scarborough, or Wexford, and like ain't nobody taking the bus that far. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it was just like, okay, I'm going to my home school and just like trying to do what I can.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my best friend, we started the acting program together there, and kept the wheels turning. By the time I got to like the 12th grade, I did this like co-op program where it was like I did some hours where I was working in a theater because that's all I knew. I was like, well, if you Will Smith said it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know, right?
So I was like, all right, so let me get my foot in the door some way. Let me talk to somebody. Let me, tell them like I act and he put me in a show or something like that. I didn't know how to.
Right, of course.
And so I'm working at this theater. And the reason why I went to Humber was because I was on pace to graduate and go to university. But then I did the co-op, and that took away 2 of my credits, right? It was just like college-based credits.
Right.
So I didn't have enough university credits to go to university. So
makes sense.
I didn't find this out until the application time. So I had applied to like go to the York University, go to theater and like go do that. And they were like, oh, you can't even come here.
No.
So I was like, I'm not going back for another year. I got 2 good grades and worked. I didn't get no spares, didn't take no time off, not to go back and do another year of university. I'm like high school. I'm out of here, right?
We're done.
But it was crazy because there was a program that I found out when I was like younger, and it was like this program that was like it was like the acting, film, and television program at Humber, and the older kids were doing it. So some of the kids I kind of look up to were doing it. But then by the time I got to high school, I forgot all about that, right? So I applied to this program just like last minute.
Yeah.
And then I got an audition for it, and then I was put on the wait list. And then when I got the call to like, I was at work one day in a factory, just like down and like tired. We were all at lunchtime. I got the call saying I got in, congratulations, And I literally like jumped up to run around the lunchroom and tripped over a chair. All my boys remember this because we all worked together that summer. And I tripped over this chair. I like fell around. It was crazy, but I was like ecstatic because I'm like, I am not working here for the, for like it was a factory, like
no.
Oh man. So yeah, that was kind of like what got me started. And then after that, after college, it was only 2 years. After college, I started my acting career. That was like 7 years ago, I think.
And the consistency, right? A lot of people who are listening to this right now, it's easier said than done, right? Like you figure you've been through this for now over 7 years, been doing this, working really hard, writing, producing, acting. And, most people take that for granted, right? Because, nowadays with social media, you can put up a nice TikTok or a nice video and now you got to roll. But I love the opportunity to hear about stories where people are doing the hard work. You got to go through what you need to go through to get to where you need to go. So I love hearing about that. So you get out of now you start this journey, right? You go through school, you train actor. Does it get any easier for you? What happens next?
No, man. I come straight out of college, and I'm like, the last thing one of my mentors at the college said to me was like, "You're great. You're gonna be so great. You just gotta have more experience. That's it." Because I was really nervous, and I was like, I would like act and talk really fast, right? And so I'm like getting in front of these auditions and getting in front of cameras and like just like rushing the scene, and my nerves are going crazy. I'm shaking. I can't even hold a smile. My face is shaking. And that was like going on for the first year and some change. And then I had this one audition where I think it was like one of my first roles I booked, where all I had to do was have a conversation. Like no line or nothing. Just have a bunch of people around me, and we're all just gonna talk about one subject, like tell a story about our lives. And so we had to like do that with like a good amount of energy.
Right.
And I made it like 3 rounds. I made it to the final round. I got the job. It was my first acting job. But when we doing the show now, I'm on set. So now it's like, it's a whole, like you fight, and you hear so many no's to get to set. And you're just getting to the audition mode where you're like, okay, I'm used to like doing a scene, getting really intense. We feel it, whatever the scene needs. But then we put it aside and we hear from it, we don't hear from it. So now you're actually in like doing the show. You got the part. So now you have to be consistent, and now you're doing it over and over again, right? So now we're just in this environment. And they gave me this segment where I had to look directly in the camera and say this memorized thing that I had to like. They gave us different ones for every episode, and I had to like have it in a cue card and kind of be checking on it while also hosting the show and talking with everybody. And then
my God.
I had to memorize what it said, and so when it's my turn, look at the camera and say what it is.
No. Yeah.
So now I'm messing up 100 times at one point. I'm shaking. I can't.
Yeah. Send me
Nerves. I
home.
can't even hold a
Yeah.
smile, right?
Right.
We get through that, and it was like a nice thing to start my career off. And then the next thing I had was like this thing where I got to be really like boisterous and loud and expressive, so I didn't have to contain my energy.
Yeah.
And that was part of what the nerves were that I was trying to fit my bigness and all of my excitement and enthusiasm and whatever joy I had into this confined space of these lines in this specific situation, XYZ. So I thought it was nerves, but it was really anticipation.
Mm.
And I had to learn that through another class, and that other class I was taking taught me so much, and so I could get out of my own way.
Yeah, and I think that goes for everything in life, right? That most of the time we get in our own way, not realizing. So finally you get it, right? Finally you're like,
yeah. I mean, you know, it's like you learn these lessons, and then you have to learn them again, and then you get to a different level, and you got to really relearn them again, and then you relearn them again. So I feel like, you know, each individual has this like life lesson or something that we learn, but we think we learn something and it's over.
Yeah.
Right? We're so used to movies, right? That like the value is in the movie and then it's done, right? But I really believe that these lessons that we're supposed to learn
takes us.
You know, and then you get more favor, and then you got to learn that lesson again, and then you get more favor, you got to learn that lesson again. Now you got kids, now you got to learn a lesson again. You know, so it's just an ever learning, ever growing thing. And so
and I think to add
go ahead.
I think to add to that is, you know, a lot of times people think, okay, so I've learned this, and you know what, I can probably do this again for the next thing. In reality, a lot of times what's acceptable in that moment is not acceptable in your next assignment. You know what I mean? And you have to learn to be so versatile in all that you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I definitely agree. I know even for myself, and that's why when you're saying this, I'm like, how do you even know me? You'll know me.
It's universal, man. Hey, the truth, the truth is always universal, right?
Yes.
Like the truth, like the human truth at the base, the core is always universal truth, no matter what. You know?
It's so true. It is so true. You know, and to kind of tally that now into where you are right now, you know, 2020 comes around, and I'm guessing you get this call to join Power. How was that for you when they first called you to either audition or to be a part of this? How was that?
It was that was a whole like situation. The whole audition process was crazy, but I had gotten to a point because it's been like maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 years into the game. Right?
Yeah.
So now I'm learning like some of these lessons. So now I have a little bit more underneath me. I have more experience underneath, so I'm not as nervous going into these rooms.
Yeah.
And I understand how to control my instrument and control what I'm doing and bring what I want to bring out without diluting it with so many of the things that have nothing to do with the character and what the story needs, right? So now we go into this room, and there's Courtney and there's Anthony and there's all these people, and yes, there's nerves still there, but I'm able to feed off of that warm energy they're giving me. So I walk out of that room, and sometimes, honestly, as an actor, it gets to a point where like, do I feel good leaving that room? Because that's all it needs to really be sometimes. Like you put in everything in this audition, and sometimes even if you put in all your work and all your effort and energy into an audition, you don't leave feeling that great.
Right.
Sometimes you leave with residual effects from the scene. Sometimes you leave and you're like, I didn't do as much as I could do. I don't feel that good, you know? But do I feel fulfilled? So leaving that room that day and feeling like, you know, there's nothing else I could have done. Like, God, do your work now. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to stress about it. I know what I did what I could do, and now everything else is out of my hands.
Right.
And so that's what it was like for the Power audition, for the Ghost audition. It was really very like organic and smooth and very nurturing in the room. Yeah. And then when I got the call, I was like, I wasn't really too surprised, but I was like, yeah, all day. Like, you know, like it's a no. I'm not gonna say no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm gonna go to New York and shoot this thing. I'm gone. Like, what? So.
Okay.
I almost put my ATL trying to leave the house. Like, I was out of here. Like, I'm gone. And it was crazy because every time I get ready to leave my crib, because I live with my family at home, and every time I get ready to leave, and I know I get the call like, okay, you're leaving in a week, or you have this date to go, my house just gets a little bit more. I get a little bit more irritated at everybody in my house now, because I was like, I'm about to be out of here. Like, I don't have to listen to nobody no more. Like, I'm out of here. So they know, they sense my energy. As soon as I'm about to leave, they're like, okay, he's like switching up a little bit. He's not listening to us anymore. He knows he's about to go just now.
Oh my God. So, like I was saying earlier, we've watched Power, right? Were you a Power fan?
Oh, of course, of course.
My God. So we've watched Power, from 2014 to 2020, major 6 seasons, right? We know if you guys have been sleeping under this rock, get up, because Ghost is dead, y'all. Ghost is gone. So where does Power book Ghost follow? Where does that come in?
So that takes place right after the events of Power, right after the finale. And if you haven't watched it, come on, this is major spoilers. But Tariq's picking up. He has to pick up the pieces and helm the family. And so now he has to go to school because if he's going to get his father's inheritance, he has to graduate.
Yeah.
And to receive the entire thing and to be able to take care of his family and provide money for them and stuff. So that's kind of where it picks up.
Yeah.
And stuff gets really crazy in that too.
And if you guys, let me say something. Like I said before, I was a little skeptical, only because of how invested I was in Power. But because of my investments, I couldn't let the season go, right? So I get to the end, like we're done. You guys are coming back for a second season, but we get in it, and I'm just like, wait, this is it? This is something about hurt. But I think for me, right? I think the realism of the show is what attracted me. A lot of the things that are happening, even though it's fiction, it's happening in real life. And that's what I love about Drew. If you can, for anybody, once again, who is still under this rock, who doesn't know what is going on, explain Drew's character to people.
Well, Drew, to me, is the one in the family. He's a part of the Tejada family. He's the middle child. And he's the one who sees the beauty in the world to me. Like he uses his artist eyes whenever he leaves his house. And he loves to draw, he loves to create, he loves to paint. He's very visual when it comes to his craft. But he's also in the middle because he's torn between that and his familiar duties, because his family is in the streets.
Yes.
Right? Lorenzo Tejada, they're one of the biggest families in Queens. So they're running shit, and then Drew's torn a lot of the time between his loyalty to the family and what he really wants to do and where his heart's taking him. He also finds love in Everett, one of Zeke's teammates, Zeke's his cousin, up at the school at Stanfield where Tariq attends. And now how does that interfere with street life and his duty, right? And because I think about this sometimes, and I feel like Drew's art is in alignment with whatever it brings him, which is seeing the world through that beauty and seeing the beauty in him, right? Yeah. And seeing the liberation and the freedom and the possibility of, one, their relationship, and two, if Everett were to be truthful with himself and be out in the world and everything like that, how much it would actually free up so much, joy and expressiveness and just freedom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he feels so trapped in the family and what his familial duties are. So that's Drew in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I love that boldness about the character. Listen, this is, and have said this in multiple times in the season. Like, this is not what I want to do. Like, there's so much more, and it's so relative to people in the real world, like being kind of torn, right, back and forth, because what your family wants or what your family is doing is not necessarily something that you want to do. And I feel like even as people of color, we face this a lot, like what our fathers have done or what our mothers have done, and wanting us to align with what they want us to do, and being able to break out of that box and be bold and be free enough to be you, unapologetic. You know what I mean? And for those of you asking this question, you're going to keep asking this question until I answer it. Drew, the character, yes, is in love with a man. But this man right here, Lovell, is engaged to the Kiana Madeira, who stars in the Netflix series Trinkets. So I answered that question, because if I see it again, I'm going to scream. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing they're asking this question. Was it jumping in that role, you know, knowing that you would receive a lot of feedback such as this?
Honestly, I didn't care for the feedback because it has nothing to do with the work.
Right.
Nothing to do with the work. At the end of the day, like, am I telling the truth? Like, you know, like,
right.
That's what I cared about the most, right? Am I embodying Drew in the most truthful, responsible and sensitive way I can, right? Because I'm speaking for other people, right? And so my responsibility is to uplift their voice and not to drop it down and disrespect it. You know what I'm saying? So stepping into this role, I was like, I felt just responsible, and I felt excited to be able to tell the story and to be given this responsibility, because that's what we want as actors, right? Is to be able to tell big and truthful and amazing stories, and human stories, and you know what I mean. So it was like to get to carry this character's mantle and to get to express it so boldly, and you get to, you know, the writing is so great and palpable, so it's easy, right, to just speak these words and let it fall out. It was just like, it's a gift, you know. It's all of it is such a gift.
And that's all that it is. It's telling a story, you know what I mean? And being bold enough to tell that story, no matter how different it is from who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's part of being. That's part of acting. It's part of acting, you know.
And what's the truth, though? What's the truth at the end of the day, right? The truth is universal. What's the truth at the end of the day for Drew and for Everett? Love.
Love. And that's it.
Right? And every human being on the planet can agree that we need to experience and receive love in our lives. That's the thing that's the healing component. That's the thing that's gonna uplift us. This thing's gonna save us at the end of the day, right? So that's the truth. That's universal. So are we telling the truth in this moment as these characters? Yes or no? That's the most important thing. That's the thing that I care about as an actor when I go to investigate and do my work. Right? All that other stuff, all that other nonsense is irrelevant. It's irrelevant, right?
It really is. So what do you think? Because I know you guys are getting ready to start for season 2 soon. Where do you want kind of Drew's character to kind of explore? Where do you see it going?
I'm interested in seeing what Drew's art life looks like after this, after getting shot, after having to, you know, be more responsible in the family. Like, what I'm interested in seeing how much he has to cast that off, and just this conflict and this push and pull being even greater for him. I'm also excited to see have more scenes with Mary, more scenes with Kane, more scenes with Woody, more scenes with Toya, more scenes with Zeke, because me and Zeke have some unfinished business. He slapped my hand away after I saved his dead knee. Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? I don't understand. Like, what's that all about? Like, I'm trying to look out for you. We haven't even talked about that yet, so, you know. So I'm really excited just to see like more of the family, and I love the scenes, even though there's only been a couple of them. The scenes between Tariq and Drew are just so much fun to me, because we get to really speak to each other almost like a brother
thing.
You know what I mean? And I love it, because I get to be like, bro, like, like it's just like so real, and just to get to, and it's so funny because if there's any behind the scenes, like, we just talk shit. Like, we get to, as soon as the dialogue is done and they want us to keep running, we just boom, 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 and just talk and just go back and forth and riff and riff and riff. And it's so much fun to just do that. We had to ADR over a bunch of our riffs one time. It's like, oh, it's a little like falling into the comedic. Can you make it a little bit more? I'm like, okay, fine. But like, it was just coming out, like, you know what I mean?
Like, it's natural, right?
Yeah, it's so much fun again, and that's a testament to these actors, you know what I mean, who make it so fun, make it so like free and easy to express and connect, and that's what you want as an actor, to be able to just
on and off the scenes, right? Like, on and off. You want that. You want that realism. You want that sense of community. How was it working with the Queen? Because let me tell you something. I've been to a concert and I met her once, and I couldn't even get words out to say how much I loved her. So you being able to be in a room with this Queen, Mary J. Blige, how was that for you?
Well, Mary is a master at her craft, and that's why it was easy to speak around her, to move around her, because she knew, you know, she knows that, like, okay, look, people see me a certain way, people see me, and it might be starstruck, right? Yeah. Like, you didn't say this, but like, it's just kind of, it's how you move, right? She makes the environment welcoming. It makes she makes it feel safe for you to be able to speak to her and to be able to connect and to interact and all that kind of stuff. So it was actually like, I'm thinking I'm gonna walk in there and like, okay, I have to like you know, make sure I mind my P's and Q's, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
don't get in her way, and you know, and it's also a testament to everybody else around us who don't perpetuate that kind of energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She doesn't walk in and make you feel like you have to do that, and so
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is not saying, oh, hey, Mary's here, like you have to do all that kind of, you know, like
Yeah.
she's a human being, right? And she's a craftsman at the end of the day,
Yeah.
craftswoman at the end of the day. So she's there to, you know, do her best job and to interact and to, you know, bring love and bring. And she played my mother, so it's
Mm.
like she's bringing that nurturing environment, but also
Right.
laying down the love,
Right.
right?
Right. Because I'm
And you
Monet.
believe it,
I'm Monet, and it is what it is.
and you believe it because she is able to be this nurturing woman and at the same time be this boss. So
Right.
yeah, it's a big huge treat to get to work with
Mm-hmm.
Mary.
Oh my God. I have loved the versatility in your career. And there's some people on here who are asking questions, so I'll ask it for you. What for them, what do you feel are the at least three components of being a well-trained actor? What, you know, or just kind of going for these shots? What do you feel are the three foundations that you need to have in order to kind of go down this route?
Fearlessness, I believe, faith, and fun. I
Mm.
guess there's three F's. I
That's
kind of made that up right now,
no, that was
but I
good
guess it's
though.
the three F's.
That was good.
Fearlessness, faith, and fun. Like,
That was good.
because you got to be able to walk in it, right? And be able to walk into rooms, and you don't have to own the room, as people say. Just be able to walk in the room and express,
Yeah.
and that takes courage, right? It's not being afraid of what man is going to be able to say to you and take away from you and give you, because what's yours is yours at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
right? So to
Yeah.
walk in that, knowing that, but that takes faith in order to know that,
Right.
right? And then have fun through that faith. Be able to express your joy. If it's a scene where you're getting to talk to your homie, then talk to your homie. Like talk to
Right.
somebody that's in your life, right? If it's somebody you get to express your rage, well, how fun is it to be able to be as mad as you possibly can at somebody
Mm.
in a safe environment where you know they're not going to take it and be like, oh, you hate me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a safe environment. So we get to, you know, to have fun, you know? So I think the three F's, I'm coining it right now. The three
No,
F's.
I hope you guys took that because I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna add it to the comment section later on when I'm done. Like the three, they're really, really good. And I think to add to that also being okay with rejection, right? Like
Yes.
knowing that those no's are only temporary. Like
Mm-hmm.
that God places those no's to see how much you can tolerate it. So when you get that yes, you're ready. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I even doing this, right? You figure I'm a fat kid from Brooklyn. I always tell people that I'm a big kid from Brooklyn who had a dream, and I got a lot of no's in this business, even as going into media. And it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
until I created the shot for myself and allowed myself to allow God the space to give me my yes. Was I ready? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
seeking everybody else's approval on what I was doing instead of God's. Who matters the
Yeah.
most? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of what you just said because it is so real. It is so true, and we need to remember that. So, guys, if you are listening, I'm going to write this down at the end because it's necessary. So, I got something I want to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just kind of go through them. All right?
Okay.
Who are your top three actors of all time?
Okay. Will Smith, Denzel Washington, and Jake Gyllenhaal.
You know what? I like that because normally people be like, I don't know, man. Good.
But if I haven't given it more thought, it's gonna be like you gotta be here for days.
Yes.
So I love Viola Davis, I love Kerry Washington, I love Nicole Bahari. So like we can keep going, but
Yes, sir.
top three off the rip, no thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Funny, charming, and God fearing.
Nice. Okay, what is your biggest fear?
Spiders. No, that changed. It changed. I used to hate spiders, man, but now it's roaches, to be honest with you.
Oh my God.
Don't laugh. My fiance in the other room laughing.
Oh my God.
I just don't want them. I just don't want them in my vicinity. I don't want them in my apartment. I don't want them in my life at all. Like, you know, so.
I'm the same. Brother, when I say terrified, and don't get a word bug around me, I'm ready to move out. Let me go. Let me just listen, I'm done. I'm over it, right? If you could have dinner with anyone who ever lived, who would it be and what would you ask them?
Oh, man, I got questions from Michael Jackson. I got questions from Michael Jackson.
Like chapter. So can we start here?
You know what I'm saying? But I got questions for Prince. for Bob Marley, for Lupe Fiasco.
Who you
Jesus,
are a big fan of, by the way.
Yes.
Like a real big. Did you bought his albums twice?
Yeah, oh yeah, man. I got 3 copies of. I got 2 copies of Drogas Wave, 3 copies of Tattoo Woman Youth. I'd be buying that. Like,
oh
hey,
my
look,
God.
low key. If this is how it really worked, I would do this. Like, I would buy 1 million copies of Tattoo Woman Youth or Drogas Wave in order to make that man platinum. If it was possible and I could do it, I would do it. Just to make it platinum. Just to be like, you got a platinum plaque now. Like, boom.
That is nice.
That is
a real dedicated fan. No way. Okay.
So probably him, but Bob Marley, man. Bob Marley, Aquarius again, Wise, Jesus, though. Who can get, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, sir.
Woo.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know what? No. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. Okay. Okay.
No. I'm done. I take it back. No. I take it back. Forget it. Forget anybody else. I said Huey P. Newton be the one I sit down, have dinner with, and talk to. Huey P. Newton.
Why?
Boom. Why? Because I got questions for him. I read his autobiography a while ago, and I fell in love with him. I fell in love. He's, again, another Aquarius dude, and like so wise and so brave and so like powerful voice and like shy and like all these things, all these characteristics about him, and people down talked him. But you know what it takes to say we're gonna start this thing, the Black Panther Party, with me and my boy, Bobby Seale, and actually really do that thing. Like,
yes, sir.
It's a big deal.
Yes, sir.
and to be in jail for that long and all these things and people saying stuff about you but still walking through it. And yeah, I got questions for him. I would have, we would be there for hours, man. Days if possible.
So I'm gonna ask you this then: if you can do a movie with anybody whoever lived, who would that be?
A movie with anybody? Probably Will Smith.
Okay.
Will Smith. I would love to play Denzel's son. That's like my favorite ideal role.
Right, because you can't
do it.
It's harder to play Will Smith son because he only puts Jada in all his movies. So it's like,
you know what I mean?
Like we already know, bro. We already know. Can you get somebody else, please?
Will Smith, I would love to co-star with Will Smith in something. That's like one of my biggest goals.
Nice. So you've gone through so much and you've done so much and given so much truth in all that you've done that you've allowed yourself to pour into people, not even knowing that you have this Bible, being able to deliver the truth to everybody, to all type of platform individuals who watch you. Who do you feel pours into you? Don't make me run across this room because I'm good for it.
Look, me and it's like I have to give God the glory. That's like I'm just a vessel for His influence and His words. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like these stories again are universal and they're told. Like there's that belief. There's nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so the things that we're going through and experiencing now, people way back in the day, also in a weird way, experienced similar things, but had different contexts, right? Had different accessibility to different technologies. But at the end of the day, these stories that are being told, whatever which way, happen and are still happening, right? So how do you tell a truth that you didn't experience and you didn't live? So God sends it to you, right? Sends you these messages, sends you these things because He knows it all. So like I honestly believe that like actors in general, like artists in general, are just vessels for that, you know. And the work that we have to do as actors, to deepen our empathetic capacities, to be able to control our instrument and move and speak and breathe clearly and work on our voices and all kind of stuff, is just to get out the damn way. Is all that work is just to get out the way. So at the end of the day, we can be ready. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, my feet, because I'm like, in a minute, I'm going to go for so what do you have in the works? What is coming up outside of Power?
So February, I believe February 12th, there's this project that I worked on back home It's called the 21 Black Futures.
Okay.
Features 21 Black writers, 21 Black directors, and 21 Black actors. They came together. It's a project done by Obsidian Theater. It's a hybrid project that is like both theater and film. Short 10-minute projects. It drops on February 12th this year, and it's Canadian, so it's on CBC Gem, but I believe it's going to be released to other streaming platforms and other services afterwards. But it's this innovative project that we did. Such a beautiful thing. All the words that I got to see and experience through my playwright, Amanda Paris, who wrote my play, directed by Charles Officer. Amazing team, amazing pairing. So I know what we did. Yeah, it was great. But there's 21 of them, so there's a bunch of them coming out. I got to at least have a little bit about. It's poetry. It's like poetry. It's like this. It's like that. It's like I got to. Oh man, you ever seen For Color Girls?
Oh, have I?
Okay, right. So I've seen the film and I've seen it done as a play as well, right? These words, that the powerful abilities of the actresses in the film to express these words, and also in the play that I saw, it's reminiscent of that to me, because it is this look at what does the world look like post-COVID, post the Black Lives Matter movement and the parades and the celebration of it, but also the quote unquote rioting, and the revolution. I want to call it revolution, even though they're trying to stomp it down now. So what does life look like after that? Nice. Right? Nice. In the future. Because we can't go backwards. At all. Can't go back to the same bullshit now. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And so it's like I love about the I like to call it evolution, not revolution, right? Because when you revolve, you're literally going to do the same thing over, expecting new results. But evolution means wanting that change and being bigger and better than the people who are before you. You know, so I love.
Yeah. I like that. I never looked at it like that. That is so true. Yeah, man. That is very true.
Yes, sir. You know,
I love looking at words like that, man. Yes. I respect that, brother. Thank you.
You're welcome. For people who are inspired by what you do, what words of motivation can you give to them for people right now who are like, you know what, if Jewel can do this, not Jewel, sorry, if Lovell can do this,
hey.
I can do it. What words of inspiration can you give to them right now?
I would say to what I always say: keep God first in everything you do and say, and everything you want to achieve. And also to again keep 3 Fs. If you're getting into film and acting as an actor, keep 3 Fs: fearless, faith, fun, and also just be easy on yourself. Okay. Be easy on yourself. You know, this is one of those businesses that it can be unforgiving, you know? Yes. For like you said before, like you put up a video on TikTok, it goes viral. But like for every, one person that goes viral, there's a million people who are trying to post those videos and aren't going viral. It's true. It's true. So it's still a grind, and take care of yourself and be easy on yourself and drink lots of water and keep your immune system up. Listen, I'm old, man. I got it for days. But if I can water it down, I can keep it condensed into one thing, is keep God first, because then I won't have to worry about anything else.
Nice. No, that is. I am that guy. I drink water and I do my work and I give it my all, because I'm old too. You know what I mean? So like,
I see it though. I see it. Your skin is beautiful. You know.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I see it. You take some good care of yourself. I see it.
It takes some time. Always this way, but I had to. You know what I mean? I had to stay hydrated and mind your business. You know what I mean? Like,
eat your food, man. Eat your food, like.
But my brother, it has been a blessing and an honor to have you. You are the first guest of the part 2 of my season, so I appreciate having you. I appreciate your existence. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to have you on. And please don't be a stranger, because now we are friends. Now you are part of the Courtney's Corner family. And I would love to have you back once the season 2 starts. You and the rest. Shout out to Melanie, who was in here. I saw you. Shout out
Hey,
to
man,
you.
I can't see the comments no more. They're like
Yeah,
flooded.
it was like flooded, like, which means the testament to what you were doing, or how great you are. So I appreciate you, everybody. This is Lovell Adams Gray. Please make sure you're following, follow for
Yeah,
all
come
that
through.
he
Come
has
through my
going
page.
on. We'll be back. I want to say we're back Friday with the all new episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. I love you for watching. Make sure you follow, and I'll see you next time. Love you.
Peace. Thank you, King. Peace.